Okay, so in this section, in this part, in this video, actually we will concentrate on how to create some solid geometry out of the circles. Just right now we have just curves, right? So what I'm gonna do, here I have just a list of circles, correct? So what I'm gonna do with them, that's gonna be pretty quick actually. I'm gonna patch them. Patch will create a surface. Okay, and again, this right now for the let's say commodity, I will also disconnect it from Alias. As you could see here, I have created a bunch of surfaces, but again, for the sake of also performance, I would say, not for the commodity part, for performance, I would recommend to turn off the automatic execution, set to manual execution, because now we have a control over when we decide to push it to Alias, right? So avoid the situation in which he's recalculating everything from the scratch every time, all the time, right? Constantly. Uh, so I want to extrude these circles, but again, I want to extrude them. Of course, I could extrude them like I could thicken them. Thicken. Thicken. Here. Okay, and then I could say, yeah, let me make it thick for, let's say, 3 centimeters. Run. And what it does, it creates a solid which is basically perpendicular to my surface, right? So it's extract. So it's extruding along the perpendicular vector to the surface in that point where it's being extruded. So one thing I can do is, of course, I can do it in this like this, and then of course I can take these solids and bake them in Alias. Okay, and I just see them here, and if you turn on the, you could see that it's here. What I could also do is, let me turn it off. I could now, if you want, for example, to not thicken, but let me avoid the patch, and I'm gonna extrude and create a extrude as solid. You see? So with this, I can. These are my curves. Okay. Here I have to collect somehow the normals. So I have to somehow do something similar and collect this normal at point, normal at point, and normal at point. Okay. So curves, vectors, and direction. Let's say 3. Distance. And see, the direction is, of course, is in that direction. So basically I have to reverse my vectors. Reverse vector, so this goes in that direction. Okay. But it's still, let's say, more or less the result is the same. And what I can also do, actually, I can extrude, I can delete this, and I can extrude these, this basically these circles along the vector, which I defined uniform for all the circles. It's gonna be minus x. Okay, I'm gonna extrude. Oh, sorry, -1 here, -1. Okay, but I'm gonna put it here because, again, remember how our coordinate system was done? It was basically x was the red axis, right, and the y-axis was green. It was pointing in that direction more or less. So if I type in here -1, I'm creating a vector, okay, which is actually pointing in a -x direction. So if I go like this, oh, what happens is that it created me a set of circles. Sorry, the extrusion went along the x-axis, global x-axis, right? And of course, I can do it in a middle. In a moment, I can extrude it into in Alias. But the last thing I want to do actually is what I want to do is, because if later on I want to create a perforation, so a hole in my surface instead of extrusion, what I need to do is, because I need to make sure, I need to be sure that the solid which is being generated here passes through completely the surface. So at the end we'll have entire circles and not. I have to avoid a situation in which, for example, my circle, my cylinder, my solid which I just created here, passes through the surface partially only. Okay. So in order to make sure, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna first translate my circle. Translate. Okay. Let me show you something. I'm gonna take my circles. I'm gonna reuse my vector, but this time I'm gonna use the positive number. You're gonna see in a moment. Direction, let's say I'm gonna be 1.5. Sorry, distance. Of course, direction is vector, right? So what it did is actually it created another circle, 1.5, distant 1.5 from the original circle along the positive x-axis, vector defined by x, positive x. Now, if I copy this and create another, let's say -1, because then I have to extrude into reverse direction, of course, because first I'm pushing into the grill, and then I'm gonna now extrude it outside. Okay, so this is my curve, this is my direction, and I'm gonna extrude by 3. Okay, now I'm sure, okay, that the entire circle, the entire cylinder passes through the surface. Okay, because now this can be deleted actually already, because now I have my solids. Okay, what I can do now, I can union the solids. Set union. Sorry, by union. Solid by union. I'm going to turn them off. I'm going to turn off the visibility of all the curves. This, and this. And this node actually will create, paradoxically, one single solid out of this list of solid. But yeah, it will be one solid. And if you type in for subtract form, or trim, if you type in trim, it should work as well. Yeah, subtract form. So subtract form. Sorry, subtract form. So this is my surface. However, we'll see in a moment if it works, but it should work. Yeah. This is my surface, and this is my trimming entity. Okay, so what it does is, I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna turn this off as well. Okay, what it does here, it creates me a surface with these holes, right? But only the half of the surface. So what I need to do is mirror again, do the same thing like here. Okay. So this is the geometry, this is the mirror plane. Okay, this is the join. Let's join them. Right. Go here. Let's turn it off. Substitute. Run. Wait a little bit. Here it is. Right. And now we can, of course, do we have bake to alias nodes? No, I have deleted it. So we can go here, alias, bake to alias, and run. Here it is. Of course, I have two surfaces overlapping because I have the old one and the new one, right? So if I go and say hide it, oh, sorry, everything was turned on. Here it is, right? Of course, I have, if I turn them off, pick nothing. Invisible, oh, here it is. Okay, thank you very much, and hear each other in the next video.